I like swords. Hello everybody and welcome to Town of Salem Theory. Today I'd like to talk to you about the psychology behind the use of names in Town of Salem. Something that's always been interesting to me is what kind of name would be the perfect name to avoid dying night one in Town of Salem. Because obviously when you go into a game, there's a chance you'll die night one, which is probably a horrible thing for anybody to come across. Now, the one thing I wanted to try and pin down was a name you could use where nobody would attack you, nobody would want to attack you, and you would pretty much live past night one every single time. The problems with this I've found is there are still other variables that can cause you to die night one, such as being first on the list, or simply just having an unlucky relationship to somebody who's a killing role as your name and getting killed as a result. So rather than talk about things that won't get you killed, I'm going to try and talk today about the things that will definitely get you killed. Things that really trigger something in somebody's mind saying, I have to kill that person, or lynch them. So the first thing I want to talk about is the plain default names. Default names will sometimes gain a little bit of ire from people simply because somebody didn't choose a name. People will look at it and thinking, oh, that guy didn't choose a name, I wonder why. Is he AFK? Is he just doesn't care? And it actually gains you a lot more attention to use a default name than to use a name that you've chosen. Now, this is one of those really weird things that shouldn't happen, but it does. I think it's something that's been developed through the meta as it's gone on. I think the psychology behind this is that people see that you haven't chosen a name, and because you haven't chosen a name, they get the idea that you're kind of worthless in the eyes of the town because you get an attitude of being lazy, or a reputation for being lazy. And that's not good. So really, not choosing a name is probably one of the worst things you can actually do. Not to mention you give up any advantage you could have had by having a name that relates to another townie, or a name that somebody finds they wouldn't want to kill. But I digress, moving on. Now let's see, the next thing that really comes to mind is fandoms. I've seen people go straight for fandoms over and over again. I think this is just because some people have a innate hatred of certain things. Like myself, you see, if I see a My Little Pony character, I'm drawn to killing that character. It's not because I hate the person, but because I hate the show. So things like Doctor Who, My Little Pony, even Marvel Comics, all those sort of things. One thing I've seen that's kind of immune to this is Disney. Disney cartoons seem to be immune to being hated on by the majority of people. I mean, 90% of the time I've seen no Disney characters will get randomly attacked. It's very strange. Maybe it's some sort of innate nostalgia towards Disney. However, this doesn't apply to certain characters. For instance, if you should pick the name Mufasa or Bambi, who are famous for their death scenes, you are 10 times more likely to die. This is an avid truth, guys. People will kill things that have sad death scenes over and over again just for the evils. Strangely enough, this doesn't happen through lynching. It always happens through deaths at night. It's as if these characters beckon the evils to come and kill them, which is great if you're a veteran. Well, now they've gone on the whole idea of animation and films, again, using characters who are foreign or obscure seem to gain less attention from people. Say, if you were to use, as an example, Gene Starwind from Outlaw Star. Now, nobody knows who this is, and they look at your name and go, who the heck are you? And they instantly get a feeling of non-involvement, as in they don't know who you are, they don't know what you can do, they don't know why it would be funny to kill you. So they will instantly go for somebody else who it's good to kill. Now I'll stress that this name, for it to work, it has to look sort of authentic. It has to look like, well, let's just say the majority of players who play this game are American, so it has to look like an American name. If you were to go in with a full Japanese game, you may come across somebody who has something against foreigners, which unfortunately is a pain, but some people will kill people purely because their name looks like they're a weeaboo or something. And so that's another thing that I would say, don't try and associate yourself with fandoms that have a negative association by a sort of large number of people. Like, if you called yourself PewDiePie, people would want to kill you because PewDiePie has a negative reputation. If you called yourself Markiplier, people would probably like, oh, it's Markiplier, okay, we won't kill him for a while, we like Markiplier. Things like that, you have to consider people's reputations when you use them as a name. Again, truly offensive names are a real no-go because people strive to get them out of the town just so they don't have to look at them. If you look on YouTube, there's a whole team of people doing something called the Justin Bieber Challenge because the name Justin Bieber will get you killed regardless. If you go into a game and call yourself Justin Bieber, about 10 out of 15 people are guaranteed to try and kill you. So now let's go on to a different category. Let's say foods. Now I've done a lot of food rounds. I found the things that die first are the ones that people really enjoy or don't enjoy at all. People will look at your ham sandwich and judge it. Like if you were to go in as bacon and somebody really likes bacon, they'll kill you for it. Somebody goes in and they really hate bacon, perhaps they're a vegetarian, they will kill you for it. So really, it's a double-edged coin. What you want to try and do is find a food that is indifferent to everybody else's opinions. Say if you had something like dry cereal or just milk. Those are things that people can't really enjoy highly, but still wouldn't like. That is the sort of thing you want to be as a food, as it will cause you to, yet again, have that whole aura of ignorance to everyone else, as people won't be interested in you. It's the same with drinks. If you were to say be Mountain Dew, some people really hate Mountain Dew, so you won't want to do that. Pretty much what I'm saying is, to do this, you have to try and guess what people's opinions are on foods. I mean, obviously not many people have the know-how about what people think are in or what people think are out in food trends, but you can give a sort of estimated guess on what's a good thing to be. Not to mention we're on the internet, so things like fancy restaurant food might make some people feel offended because they don't know what it says, and they feel like they have to kill it because it confuses them. Now, let's talk about word structure, shall we? One thing that will gain people's attention is silly nonsense words. People will look at it and go, ha ha ha, that guy's funny, now I want to kill him. As I've been saying throughout this entire video, your strategy should really be, you want to stay in the shadows, you want to stay unseen, you don't want people to pay attention to you, and you don't want them to kill you. So pretty much the whole idea here is keep your words boring and formal if you want to have less exposure to the town. So instead of saying something like nerp or merp, you'll need something like Jimmy or Christopher, something like that. Boring and formal keeps people bored and looking for other people to kill and make creative death notes. In a game like Town of Salem, where the entire of your gameplay will revolve around you lying and creating lies, people really hate it when you become sort of bored and mechanistic. So please, don't make your name explosive and really noticeable. If you want to live past night one, it's a good idea to keep yourself boring and undetected. Right, now let's go on to video game characters. With video game characters, it's a bit odd, because if people look at you and they know what you're from, sometimes they will think, oh, I like you, you're from a video game I won't kill you. But it's pretty hard to find a video game that everybody likes, plus there may be other people in the town who are video games as well as you, and you may get subjected to a judgment of which is the better video game. At this point, I would say, if you're going to be a video game, pander like hell. Be the best video game you can find, or video game character, and hope to flip that the entire town likes your video game. However, I will say this, playing a character that everybody hates will get you killed. It's like picking Jar Jar Binks. Everyone will want you to die, and they will throw you out. Same really goes for film and TV. If you pick a character that people like, they will not kill you. If you pick a character people hate, they will kill you. Simple as that. One thing I will advise you never ever do is to call yourself Sean Bean. Sean Bean has a reputation for dying in every film he's in, and then because of that, people will kill you for it. So never be Sean Bean, guys. Strangely enough, people avert their eyes and their decisions from things they don't want to see. Say if you called yourself 50 Shades of Grey or Twilight, people would look at it and go, ew, 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 I don't want to mess with that. Now, it's really weird, because usually you'd think people would want to kill things like that. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a double edge, because it's 60% in the favour of people not actually wanting to have anything to do with you, and 5% on the fact they want to kill you to get you away. It's strange, I'd say. But if you can pull off the right film that people wouldn't want to look at, but on the other hand aren't hating enough to kill, it would be pretty cool if you could survive like that. So film titles and TV shows like that, like say The Walking Dead. Some people may not want The Walking Dead to die because they like it. However, if you did Fear the Walking Dead, that's got a negative reception recently, so that might die horribly. It's psychologically interesting, I think. Now, on the subject of using words for jokes in your name, if your joke is blunt and offensive, people will try and kill you for it. Say you're something like Top Bastard 55, people would kill you for it because they'd be like, "Hey, that's not funny." But if you make it so you take the piss out of your own name, that sounds like a good idea. Just an example, if you say something like, "Don't kill me, I'm a pussy," or something like that, people may laugh and think, okay, that's funny, I'm going to let you live as a favour to you because you made me laugh. Making people laugh will put them off trying to kill you, so yeah, do it. Never try offensive names like Hitler or stuff like that. They'll get you killed. The entire town will band together and kill you. It's a no-brainer. They do that. it's a lot of peer pressure happens when stuff like that happens. Now I'm going to address the whole attitude of patriotism. You don't know who you're going to play with. So trying to pander to people by having a name like Bald Eagles or British Tea isn't going to work, because it's very likely you'll have at least 3 people in the game who are from a different nationality from what you're trying to pander to. And I'm going to say this right now, if they see that, they'll kill you simply because they have their own sense of patriotism and they don't respect yours. Obviously, we're in Town of Salem, so everyone's anonymous, so all bets are off. You don't want to save somebody's grace with their whole ideals. Again, it goes to the same of somebody who you can make a humorous example of from another place. Like, say, George Bush or David Cameron both have a negative respect in England and America. However, both would want to be killed by both members of those respective countries. For one thing, the people outside those countries may try and attack them as foreign diplomats, or the people inside those countries may try and kill them for things they've done. However, here's something interesting for you. Every time I've seen the name Obama, who is the American president, as you probably know, I've seen the people try and poke fun at him throughout the entire game and held off killing him. It seems there's a way you can do it where if you use your name to humour again, you can hold off people killing you, because they want to keep you around. Being a trickster or a joker, even if you're not a jester, seems to be a good idea based on your name. From this, we can assume that the role-playing aspect of using your name to your advantage is quite a high factor in whether you'll be killed or not. So that's something to consider when you're choosing your name. If you know someone really well, as a celebrity or a famous person, you can use role-playing to your advantage. Using your name to entertain is a good practice. Right, now let's talk about animals. Now, something interesting I've come across is that if you call yourself an animal with a name, people will try and kill you. If you give your animal human characteristics, like I've called myself Sally the Squirrel, people think it's funny to kill you. It's strange. People will look at you and go, oh, look, it's a named animal. I'ma kill it. The only thing I can really assert to this is that the killers have a real abundance of evil and think that killing a named animal, which is given sentimental value through the name modification, is something funny. So really, calling yourself a named animal is like putting yourself in front of a target. People who have killing powers like to kill things that are cute or have sentimental value to others through their names. It's like they consider that your presence is making the town look nicer, so they kill you just to get rid of you, just to inspire some sort of fear in other people. So I would advise never using an animal with a name. If you use just a normal animal, people find that funny. It's like somebody killed a giraffe wouldn't be as funny as kill Jerry the giraffe. So I would assume if you're going to become an animal, don't use a name to modify yourself, because it just attracts killers. The biggest no-no is calling yourself something that is extinct or close to extinction. Like if you're a panda, if you're a dodo, the killers will find great glee in killing you. There's some sort of intrinsic humour in making sure something that's extinct stays extinct. I mean, obviously because we're in a virtual thing, people's inhibitions are taken away, and they find it funny to kill things that would be funny to kill in real life, in some sort of dark sense of way, a humour way. So calling yourself something extinct like Dodo is like saying, I want to die. And you should really stay away from things like that, otherwise the killers may just take you up on that. So from all this, what can we deduce? What are the good names to use? Well, from everything I've learned, I can deduce that the best names to use are things that don't draw attention, don't seem to be recognised by the majority of people, and seem to form some sort of uninteresting aura around them. From this, I can assume that the best names to use are sort of normal names like Chris or Jessica, or something that's obscure that nobody would realise. Say, like I said, Gene Starwind from Outlaw Star, or maybe an obscure Pokemon like Munchlax, because that'll add the added thing of people saying, oh look, it's Pokemon, we love Pokemon, we're not going to kill the Pokemon. This is all I've got so far. I would really appreciate you guys' input and whether you think that my things are wrong, what I've said is contradictory to your own experience. This is a work in progress. I am trying to determine what's the best names to choose in Town Salem so that you don't get killed night one. Anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching the entire video. If you did, this should be about like 14 minutes now. So thank you very much. I've been Magnus Sword 2, and good luck on choosing your names in Town of Salem. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.